but I feel like I'm so tall. Hold on. Why am I don't like this spot. This is a weird seat.
It's your spot. You sat there for 7 months.
I know, but I got so accustomed to this one. Okay, whatever. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Paper Out. And guess what day it is?
Mike. What day is it, Mike? Listen, guess what today is?
Humpty. Is that Humpty?
That's Humpty. That's Humpty.
Oh, my goodness.
As you guys know, it is my favorite day of the work week on Paper Out here. Hump Day. We got a lot of things to dive into. Myself, Brandon Marshall. As you can see, we have a gap at the table. Yeah. Where in the world is Brandon Flowers? That should be a game that we play.
We should put Woo there today.
We should put BC there today. He's getting his on-camera credits lately when it comes to the New York Knicks. I think that's what I'm going to do. When it's basketball talk, BC, you're going to hop out the booth and hop in the chair. That's what we're going to get you to do today. That's your assignment. But until we get to that point, there's so much to dive into, from the NFL to the NBA to everything in between. Apparently, a reporter, listen, sometimes when you got to go, you got to go. And
what happened?
We'll talk about it, but let's first talk about some Wednesday Hump Day headlines. What you got, Brandon?
Aaron Rodgers. Oh. Why is he blasting you over the Jets? Isn't it crazy how much we've talked about the Jets since Aaron Rodgers arrived? It's big city, the media capital of the world, but actually, it was first Aaron Rodgers, then it was the Achilles, and then it was, when is he coming back? Now, Ashley, he's blasting his own organization. We will discuss it. You don't want to discuss it?
I'm so tired of this man. I'm
J-E-T-S,
so tired. Can you imagine?
Jets.
We're talking about him ad nauseum, and he's not even playing. Can you imagine when he steps back on the field and he's actually playing football? It's going to be Aaron Rodgers watch 24/7.
No, it won't be the same. It'll be just like, just football stuff.
Oh my God.
It's just football stuff. It's just like that. Man, the anticipation of Aaron Rodgers, in New York, and then he finally got there, and then it was awesome all season. Then he gets hurt. It's Did
you see Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show? They did it live at the Seaport. And
oh, really?
They did.
Oh, that's cool.
Andrew,
Aaron Rodgers came in live?
He's live. Andrew, if you can pull the clip, Awful Announcing on Twitter actually has the clip. So we can talk about it after we talk about
Announcing.
Awful Announcing has the clip. It's Aaron Rodgers speaking to Pat McAfee, and he's like throwing shots at Stephen A. It's
like real shots?
Like it's a little bit, it's Aaron Rodgers' shot. So, like, Andrew, if you can pull that clip while I talk about this clip so we have it after this conversation, it's absolutely just, like, it's so Aaron Rodgers and so aggravating and so annoying that, like, I feel like we have to discuss it. So, Awful Announcing is the Twitter page, and you'll see, like, the caption says something like, Aaron Rodgers tries to rope Stephen A. into, like, a certain conversation.
Was Stephen A. there?
No, Stephen A. was in the building because it was on the set.
Yeah, but he wasn't there
of
with
NBA
Aaron Rodgers.
or First Take or whatever. He was somewhere. He was there though. He was present in the parameters. But listen, we're gonna go ahead and talk about this part of the Aaron Rodgers conversation, and he's not happy with how his backup. I don't know which backup he's referring to. I'm gonna assume it's Zach Wilson because there's plenty of quarterback rotations in New York going on. And he's not happy with how his backup is being portrayed by the media. A report surfaced last week, or earlier this week rather, where an anonymous source or sources were quoted saying that Zach Wilson was hesitant to take back the Jets' starting job. Well, let's just say that Aaron Rodgers wants some investigative journalism work done and get to the bottom of who is behind this report. Listen.
We need to get to the bottom of whatever this is coming from and put a stop to it privately because there's no place in a winning culture where, and this is not the only time, there's been a bunch of other leaks.
Big city, a lot of reporters.
I get it.
A lot of friends.
I get it. They're not your friends.
No, yeah.
They're not your friends.
Yeah, friends.
They're not your friends. Even if they are, like, is that really what you want to be about? You want to be about using someone in the media to leak stuff to in order for what? To get them to put your name out there for a job, or if you're a player, to get you a write-up I think it's chicken shit at its core, and I think it has no place in a winning organization to be a source on it, especially not if you're going to assassinate somebody's character.
Wow. Let me put this on mute. Actually, initially, I thought like it was just like really good organization. He said it, right? Winning organization, championship organizations, it's hard for anything to get out. We talked about this when, you went into detail about the Miami Heat and Pat Riley and, even in your early days when you were around there. So, like, we have these conversations all the time, but it's almost like in passing. I thought this was going to be a soundbite in passing. This is my first time hearing it. I actually would like to listen to it again probably in a few minutes here, but, like, because there was so much there. I'm thinking it was just, like, in passing. Like, yeah, we got to make sure we don't let anything out, right? No, he really went in. Like, he really went in. And I actually love this. I love it because when you are Aaron Rodgers, you're a player like this, you can impact everyone in the building. And so for him to come out and say this, he's talking to ownership. He's talking to general managers. He ain't talking about some players, but he's talking about everybody in the building. Like, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. It's so, we don't understand is that it's so political at times. I never forget going back to the Denver Bronco days and, Adam Schefter had something. And I was like, this can't be true. I go to the organization, like, is this true? It's like, no. A year later, come to find out it was true. And it's like, that was my first time where I realized that organizations, coaches, general managers, they plant stuff. They do. Because guess what? They're thinking about their jobs for 5-10 years to come. Yes. And how do they do that? They maintain the narrative. They maintain relationships with media. So this is powerful. Aaron Rodgers, kudos to Aaron Rodgers. I'm falling deeper in love with Aaron Rodgers. Hurry back, bro, because we miss you.
I mean, it isn't. I mean, Aaron Rodgers has been in the game for a long time. So he knows how this works. And I wonder if things were different on the Jets and the Jets were winning and Zach Wilson was playing well, if he would have the same opinion about media leaks and anonymous sources and things, getting out of the locker room, because it happens.
Nothing will get out the locker room if you're playing well.
It happens in sports like all the time. If you're winning, but you have two guys on the team who don't like each other, that's gotten out before. There's always a story to be discovered, whether or not you're winning or losing. When you're winning, it looks like someone's trying to sabotage you from the inside. When you're losing, it looks like someone's just trying to pile on. It's just for different reasons. So I say that to say that I wonder if the Jets were winning and the story was more along the lines of something like that, like Garrett Wilson and Zach Wilson don't actually like each other, or like something along like that, or Robert Saleh has an issue with this play. Like, I wonder if he would be as die on the sword about it because it's not affecting the product on the field. Yeah. So I wonder if he's so like on his soapbox about it because they're losing. And Zach Wilson's part of the reason why they're losing or were losing because he's not the quarterback right now. I just wonder how genuine his stance is on this, and if circumstances were different, would he be as ruffled by it?
Think about what he said. I do want to listen to this again because I think there are some things I may have missed. But the last thing, again, he said this doesn't happen in championship organizations. So if you're winning, if they are winning, Ashley, I don't think it would be getting out.
It
definitely happens all the time. You're right. It happens all the time, but a lot of times it's surface level stuff where it's like A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts got into it at the beginning of the year. Right? Remember? And they said, oh, that's my brother. We're good. So this is easy stuff, right? But no one else came out in that organization and said, oh, this is what really was said. This is what really happened. That just doesn't happen when you're winning or in winning organizations. And so you're in this situation now, as the Jets where I would say you're not at the bottom of the barrel. We were never at the really bottom of the barrel, but you haven't won in how many years? You haven't been to the playoffs in how many years? Aaron Rodgers goes down. Now you're back into a losing environment. They've been doing great all year. Robert Saleh been standing up. Nope, Zach Wilson's my guy. Nope, Zach. And now all of a sudden it gets hard. December, January, this is the hardest time in football when you're losing. It's cold. Your body is hurting.
This is true.
What Brandon Flowers say, you already making plans for vacation, you shipping your cars out, and this is when people start yapping and talking. And so I love that Aaron Rodgers stood up and said that. And, hell, you know what? If Aaron Rodgers, his impact on his organization thus far is phenomenal. If he never even suits up, he's going to leave a lasting impression on his organization. Even things like this. This is how it's supposed to be done.
Well, let's listen to that clip one more time.
Yeah, let's run that
Take a
back.
listen, guys.
We need to get to the bottom of whatever this is coming from and put a stop to it privately, because there's no place in a winning culture where, and this is not the only time. There's been a bunch of other leaks.
Big city, a lot of reporters.
I get it.
A lot of friends.
I get it. They're not your friends.
No,
They're not your friends.
Yeah, friends.
They're not your friends. Even if they are, like, is that really what you want to be about? You want to be about using someone in the media to leak stuff to, in order for what? To get them to put your name out there for a job, or if you're a player, to get you a write-up, something. I think it's chicken shit at its core, and I think it has no place in a winning organization to be a source on, especially not if you're going to assassinate somebody's character.
I mean, okay.
The second time around, anything else come up?
I also want to say this. This isn't Green Bay, Aaron. You're in New York, New Jersey, but you're in the tri-state. This is the toughest media market in sports. It's worse than LA. It's worse than Miami. It is the toughest media market from any sports angle any sport that you want to discuss or you want to go ahead and dissect. New York media rips them to shreds just to build them up again. It is the way it has always been done. You want to talk hockey, you want to talk baseball, you want to talk basketball, you want to talk football. It has the way it's always been done. So the media leaks aren't going to stop. And you're talking about a winning culture. The Jets are not winning. Like, they're right now, you might as well have, if the media in New York are sharks in an ocean.
Right.
They're basically chunks of fish and blood and guts that are being dumped into the ocean, and all the sharks are coming to come and get it. That's what New York media does, especially when you're losing. Yeah. When you're winning, they'll try to find a story to make a story. That's what they do. They're messy. New York Sports Radio, I grew up listening to it. I know the market very, very well. The fan base does the same thing. But that should have nothing. But that should have nothing to do with the players and the coaches. No, it shouldn't. But what I'm saying is that he's trying to reinvent the wheel of a media machine that has existed long before he got to New York and will exist long after he leaves. That is the foundation of New York sports media. They will tear you apart. It's what they've always done.
Yeah, but I don't think he's talking. I don't think that's the biggest takeaway. The biggest takeaway is, cool, they can do that, but inside, stay together and don't give them anything.
No, you would expect that, but
But
the players aren't. Let me make this very, very clear for people who don't know, like, how the inner workings of journalism. The players aren't leaking stories. Now,
some does.
Hold on. Now, I will say that sometimes you get a player who doesn't really get playing time, but he knows all the tea because he's in the locker room, and he ain't got nothing else to do. So maybe he'll slip a story for a little bit of it happens. But for the most part, when we get leaks from a locker room, it's not coming from the players. It's coming from people who have eyes and ears in that locker room, but they don't put a jersey on. But they know everything that happens. Right. So Aaron Rodgers, 9 times out of 10, you don't got to worry about the guys wearing the same jersey as you. It's everyone else in that locker room who has access to it, from security to the equipment manager.
It's everybody. It's everybody.
For the most part, it's not
depends.
players.
No. And it sometimes is big name players.
Sometimes it is. But for the most part, it's not like LeBron James tipping off the media. It's everybody. Not how that works.
It's everybody. Even that, like, you got to think, like, everybody got relationships. Pay attention. If you mentioned, like, LeBron James, like, LeBron James is friendly with Shannon Sharp. If Shannon Sharp comes out with some information, could he potentially get it from a LeBron James? Well, like, it's all of a game. And what happens is that as you're a player, you're right what you're saying, but I just don't want to gloss over the player part. Of course, but you're right what you're saying, but no, there's players and there's big name players, because as you get older as a player, you start understanding the game. Right. I gave you this story when I first got in the league. I'm like, man, no way. And then you go speak to the person that you think might have leaked, and they're like, no, a general manager, head coach, whatever. And then you're like, holy shit, Adam Schefter started off on the beat in Denver. Who co-wrote his book? Or not co-wrote, who signed off on it? Who helped? Who wrote the forward in the book? Coach Shanahan. And what you realize is all about relationships. Some of these men and women on the beat have been covering these teams for 15, 20 years. And what happens, and this is exactly what happens from a personnel standpoint, ownership down to general managers and people in the organization, they'll go, I've seen this happen. All right, look, all right, Sean, here's what happened. All right, this is what's going on. And then they built these relationships so they can protect the organization or protect themselves. Players, they do it as well. Hell, I've done it before. I've done it before as a player to control my narrative. That was going to be my point, that for the most part, when players are leaking stories to the media, for the most part, and again, we've been in locker rooms for different things. That's right. But in my experience, when players have relationships with the media and, stories get out, 9 times out of 10, those stories are to benefit them. So, if they're having a bad season, the story comes out, all of a sudden they're hurt. You know what I mean? It's never to bash the team specifically unless there's a serious situation going on. 9 times out of 10, a media-player relationship is to benefit them when they need it. I'm talking about stories that are detrimental to the team. Most of the time, that doesn't come from your big name players. It may come from a player, but it's the guys that you don't really gotta you don't really know their name. They got nothing to lose. They have nothing to gain, really. And here's the other key too, Ashley. Right, if a guy has been there, has a long tenure in the organization, a player. We're talking about 6 to 10 years. Oh, they got relationships in media too.
For sure.
And so, those be the guys. Some of those punters, you punters out there, shut up.
Look at Pat McAfee, former punter.
Right, look, he in media.
Okay.
No, Pat's a real one. Pat's a real one. I like Pat. But those be the ones, Ashley, even there was a situation. Yeah, I can't give too much information, but nah, man, you got to watch. Shut up. People be talking too much. Shut up. But it is what it is. It's I'm glad Aaron Rodgers, had this conversation and had it the way he did. He ain't beat around the bush. He didn't say, hey, we gotta. No, he said it's happened. That was the other big takeaway. He said, nah, and it's happened a couple times before. It could be about his own. His rehab process, his injury, that might be a part of that. It's damn, why do we have all this information? Because most players and most people, they like to keep stuff, internal, inside. But we're getting a lot of information about the Jets right now. A lot of information about the Jets. So.
Listen, speaking of the Jets, before we move on, I want to share with you guys the clip from yesterday that it was absolutely hilarious. This is just... Aaron Rodgers has to be a simulation of a person. He can't be a real individual. It's just not physically possible for him to be a real person. So Aaron Rodgers, obviously we all know what his stance on COVID-19 was. Right. That famous, vaccinated, not vaccinated, or immunized, or whatever the word is that he used to kind of dance around the fact that he hadn't gotten the vaccine, but he wanted he wanted to leave it up for interpretation whether or not he actually got vaccinated. So fast forward, COVID is still very much around, but we've now figured out how to live with it. It's, luckily not killing people at the rate that it was. Now it's just a pain in the ass to get because it's like a flu. And, we've moved past the dark ages of COVID. And so basically, Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee show and tried to rope Stephen A. into a little bit of a COVID victory lap. Just listen to this.
Wow.
But as I sit here today, I feel like I'm definitely on the right side of history and went through a lot of shit for an opinion that was my own, personal belief based on what was best for my body. And in an era of censorship and quelling free speech, I'm glad that I took the stand that I did, and welcoming more and more people to the side of freedom and free speech. This is great. I can just directly go to my I actually like this more. I can just go right to my one shot.
I was about to say, we just did real journalism there, and we even got snapped.
The right side of history, ladies and gentlemen. You can't make this up. Like this is a real quote. The right side of history. He was talking about previously. He was talking in a couple seconds before he said that. He was talking about how Stephen A. looks in great shape, and he says, "Oh,
that's how it came together.
Working out, eating right, cold plunge, hot sauna, all these things that I was, speaking about that could help you fight viruses and things like that." And then he goes into, "I feel like I'm on the right side of history today," and it's just
Ashley. Let's keep it funky.
Aggie.
Like Cam Newton would say, let's keep it
so
funky.
Aggie.
Before Aaron Rodgers put on the green. Did you like him?
Yes. I'll tell you why. I don't like aloofness doesn't bother me.
Okay, cool. That's fine. That's fine.
So yeah.
But most people, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people
didn't like him.
Didn't like him.
I'll say this though. I didn't like him his last year in Green Bay.
Okay.
But I did.
But overall,
I liked him.
Okay,
yeah.
cool.
But last year in Green Bay kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
Would you say that he is changing he's changed the narrative around him? Like, or I wouldn't say that.
No.
Would you say that more people are starting to like him?
I think you know what? I don't think so. I think more people are amused by him because I feel like he's on a bigger platform with the Jets, a different spotlight than being in Green Bay. But I think that people are just so enamored with just how ridiculous he is at times and just how not like I told you, he's like a simulation of a person. He's not a real individual.
This is the amazing part about athletes keeping it real and being themselves and talking. Ashley, I didn't like Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
No, from afar, like what you see, how he acts and certain things. Like I didn't like Aaron Rodgers. It ain't a big deal. There's a lot of people who don't like me. It's okay.
This is true.
Right? But since he's been in New York, I fell in love with Aaron Rodgers. Fell in love. I actually told Woody Johnson we were at the Super Bowl. We were outside of a hotel in the back. We're sitting on the patio. Me, him, and his security, Bobby. So Bobby's sitting there. And I'm like, yo, don't go get Aaron Rodgers. I'm lobbying for Woody Johnson to not get Aaron Rodgers. So glad they didn't listen to me. I love Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers, man, the more he talks, the more we get to know him. Now, look, he's bullish in some of his viewpoints, like COVID-19 and some of his other things that he believes in, and it's okay. And
totally
the more he talks about it, the more he talks about the things that he loves, the more I'm falling in love with him because he's so authentic. He's so real. And we didn't get this out in Green Bay outside of some appearances on the Pat McAfee show. But it was only a small little window that we were able to see him. We're seeing him more, and I absolutely love it. And I think other players should take note of just be comfortable being you, being real. It's okay. But you know what we do? We sit in the box. We're institutionalized, and we say we got to say all the right things. We can't rock the boat. No, it's okay. See, I was the guy that was getting in trouble saying shit like this, going out there and being like, yeah, why are we doing this as an organization? Bro, you can't say that. You can't say that. You can't do those things. And that's one of the reasons why there's 50% of the football population, when we're talking about fans, they may be like, who is that guy? And there's another 50% it's like, oh, I kind of like that guy. It is what it is.
Well, listen, Aaron Rodgers will continue to be the gift that keeps on giving. So I'm sure this is not going to be the last time we talk about it. But we're no secret on this show to hearing, what's the timeout?
Timeout.
Okay.
Let's go back. When you introduced this, I gave you my news of the day. You remember what you did? You put your hit. Yeah, you did all that.
Yeah, because I'm tired of talking
about it. No, you just enjoyed it. BC Woo. Did she not just enjoy that conversation? We went 25 minutes talking about Aaron Rodgers.
I enjoyed the COVID conversation because it was funny.
No, she out there saying, "Oh, pull this clip." Yeah, look, they banging on the wall. Pull this clip. Pull that clip. Yeah. You enjoyed it. Let's talk about it tomorrow.
I don't want to talk about it tomorrow.
Yes, you do.
Listen, let's go ahead and move on. We're no secret on this show to hearing players of particular teams back up their quarterbacks and saying that their QB is the best QB that there is. Well, now you can go ahead and add Deebo Samuel to that conversation because he is waving the flag for Brock Purdy as MVP and is going as far as saying there is no debate. He was asked about it on a particular show. I believe this was in Kay Adams' show, Up and Adams. And here's what he had to say about Brock Purdy and all the MVP talk.
Where's Brock in your personal MVP conversation?
Man, my boy number one right now. It ain't up for debate.
I mean, there's a lot of... Tyshawn goes, yeah, oh yeah, that's the one. Well, can I hear the argument for Brock? What's the case for Brock to be the MVP?
You just got to keep stacking games, stacking days, stacking weeks. So we got to go out here and continue to make plays for him.
What you think?
I'm not believing you. I don't believe you, Deebo. I believe that he believes that Brock is the MVP, but the fact that he couldn't give me a reason why is a little bit like, just got to keep stacking wins. Well, that's obvious. Like, you can't be the MVP if you don't win. So I get that part. But in terms of what has he done for 13 weeks consistently that would make him the MVP over a Dak Prescott, over a Jalen Hurts, over a Patrick Mahomes, over a Tyreek Hill, over a Christian McCaffrey. I don't know if I can say that. Now, we're just talking recency bias, and we're just talking about what is it you've done for me lately. Sure, but last time I checked, the MVP award is a full season award. And even with Dak Prescott, you can say even the games that they've lost, he hasn't had bad games. Mm-hmm. Like, statistically, his individual numbers...
Lost them games.
Yeah, like, his individual numbers have been consistent and have been MVP caliber the whole season. It's just this last part of the season, he's really taken it and running with it, and it's producing wins in terms of the Cowboys' record. But they've been a winning team the entire year. Dak has been a winning quarterback the entire year statistically. Yeah. In terms of Brock, the 49ers have won games in spite of him. Yeah. Whereas if you look at some of the other teams, the Cowboys haven't won in spite of Dak. Mm-hmm. They've won with him and because of him. Same thing in Philly. Same thing in Kansas City. Same thing in Baltimore. So I don't know if I can put Brock ahead of all of those guys for that reason.
Mm-hmm. Well, this is what he's supposed to say as a teammate. But there's a huge debate.
Of course.
Like, Dak or Brock Purdy? I would say Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott's overall numbers, they're close, but his overall is better. Brock Purdy or C.J. Stroud. I think what C.J. Stroud is doing is much more significant than Brock Purdy. This was a team that was at the bottom of the barrel. Y'all laughed at, not y'all, but some people laughed at me when I said you put the last year's Houston Texans in the SEC. They're not even 500. Now you go draft a rookie quarterback and you throw him out there, and he does this, potentially get your team in the playoffs. I think they might be in a wild card right now. So when I think about Brock Purdy, and I wasn't Brandon Flowers or the Shannon Sharps of the world or whoever else that was jumping off the bandwagon just 4 weeks ago, or some people never even got on it. Like, I'm high on Brock Purdy. Like, I love Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy gonna get a big deal. He's the face of he's not the face of the franchise because they got multiple faces of the franchise, which is interesting, but the quarterback usually is. But he will be the franchise quarterback, right? Mm-hmm. But, man, I'm going with C.J. Stroud. I'm going with Tyreek Hill, Ashley. Right now, I'm going with Tyreek Hill. Take Tyreek Hill off of the Miami Dolphins with their record, right? And the same thing you said. So, I love Deebo Samuel's, standing on the table for his teammate. But it's definitely a debate. It's a big debate. Hell, there's a debate why he's leading the MVP race. For me,
I think Deebo's doing exactly what you're supposed to do, and that is gas up your quarterback and be a good teammate. So this is no knock to Deebo at all. This is exactly what you're supposed to do. This is what you want your guys to do. But from an objective standpoint, or is it objective or not objective?
I don't know. You asked. What did I go to school for? Ashley? What did I go to school for?
Oh my God, why am I drawing a blank on this word?
You went to school for football too?
No. Oh my God, I'm drawing a blank on this, and that's not good because I am.
We take time. Google.
Yeah, an objective, not influence. Yeah, okay, got it. I was right the first time. Whew, scared me. From an objective standpoint, I just don't know how I could put Brock Purdy ahead of all those other quarterbacks that I named.
Right.
It's not a knock to him because he's playing well. But if I have to look at the landscape of the entire season, it's just different quarterbacks have been doing it more, and different quarterbacks are solely responsible for the wins of their team. I just think the 49ers are a really, really good team that can win whether or not Brock Purdy's on his P's and Q's that day or if he's not. And that's not a knock to him. That's just a testament of a really well-constructed football team. So is he the MVP currently? Maybe. Depends on who you ask. Is he in contention? Absolutely. Is he the MVP and there's absolutely no debate about it? I don't know if I agree with that part. So
Dak Prescott over Purdy, and I love Purdy. CJ Stroud over Purdy, Tyreek Hill over Purdy. That's where I'm at. But we could be looking at Purdy really as the MVP if he, finishes this season strong. And I wouldn't be mad at it either. It's still up in the air. There's a lot of guys that are in position. It might be one of the closest MVP races that we've ever had. It might be. It should be.
It's a really
you got
good
a couple
MVP
guys
race,
that's balling.
Yeah.
And guess what? Later in the show, we will discuss my non-quarterback MVP candidates. Because why aren't we talking about linebackers and offensive linemen? What? When's the last time we had an offensive lineman
I'm actually glad you brought that up because it is now time for Marsh Madness, ladies and gentlemen.
Really?
Yes, it is. That's good segue. This is the part of the show where we give Brandon the floor to rant and rave about a top 5 list of his choosing. And this time, we're talking top 5 non-QB MVP candidates. Now, as you guys know, yesterday, if you watched the show, we had Roddy White on the show, and we spoke about the MVP award and why it has become the MVQ, most valuable quarterback. Oh. Why are so many impressive positions on both sides of the ball just constantly ignored for this award? So this part of the show is where Brandon is going to go and give those players their flowers. So go ahead. The floor is yours, Brandon.
Yeah. After a few weeks, I finally got it right. This is not March Madness. It's Marsh Madness. How the hell do I mess up my own segment? Ashley Nicole Moss. Brian, how do I mess up my own segment? It's like 2 weeks. I'm like, March Madness, right? Brian, our producer, had this amazing idea to curate these segments, and I'm out there for 2 weeks, and y'all never corrected me. Never corrected me. It's Marsh, and it's short for Marshall. You got it? M-A-R-S.
I got that the first week we did it. Did you?
Okay. All right, we're going to start with number 5, T.J. Watt. T.J. Watt is a guy that is balling. Mm-hmm. And I love players like this, Ashley, because they impact the game in so many ways, even when they don't make the play. T.J. Watt has already scored a touchdown. T.J. Watt has tackles for loss. And then also, when you look at how many sacks he has on the year, he has 14 sacks. That is huge, especially on a team that was producing no offense and they're still in playoff contention. That's a big deal. He should be considered. And the other thing about T.J. Watt is this. When I talk about not making a play, when T.J. Watt's on the left side, everybody's eyes on the left side, which means what? The dudes on the right side have clear path to victory. So when he's not making a play, he's still making a play because you got to double team him. Hell, you even got to triple team him. Even the quarterback, he can't even focus. Quarterback drops back. You got a Joe Burrow dropping back like, all right, my left tackle, we just went to dinner. We just had a steak, and that's my guy. He came to the crib, the family and everything. I trust him. He making money. He good. He a dog. But that's T.J. Watt. So now you start peeking, and you forget to look at, your comeback on the right side and then the seam route going down. So he's always in everyone's head. The fourth guy I want to bring up is your guy. Can you guess who could be at 4? Oh, they threw it up there. Ashley, do you want to give a little bit about Micah Parsons, why he should be considered?
I mean, he is the Dallas Cowboy defense. And if you're going to put T.J. Watt up there, Micah Parsons is not too far behind. And I know we haven't seen, a defensive player of the year and an MVP since LT.
Was it LT?
I believe the last person to ever do it was LT.
Really?
I believe so. You can double check me on that, but I believe it was LT. But listen, Micah Parsons, like I said, is a Dallas Cowboy defense. He has been responsible for some big plays and some big-time games. And you know what they say about big-time plays? They're made by big-time players in big-time games. And it doesn't get any bigger than Micah Parsons. A big bag is coming his way, Jerry, so you better get that checkbook ready. But if we're talking about non-QB candidates, Micah Parsons is most certainly on that list.
And again, some people may look at this even with T.J. Watt, and it's like, well, T.J. Watt has 14 sacks, and, when a guy really wins like this, it's because they're about to break Michael Strahan's record, right? We're talking about 20-something sacks. But what we don't realize, and we don't know how to quantify, did I say that right? Mm-hmm. It's like their impact when they're not making a play. Like Micah Parsons, he can play all 4 positions or in all 4 slots, and when he's moving around, how is he impacting the game? How is he creating favorable matchups for his defensive tackle, his nose guard, his linebacker, the end on the other side? So this is a guy sitting at 11.5 sacks, but you talk about impact, I don't know if there's anyone greater that's making a significant impact. This guy, this is where some people will push back on me, and I can't wait. I hope I'm alive when I see this day. I'm praying that we see this day in the National Football League. I love what you said, Ashley. You said MVQ, most valuable quarterback, but it really is supposed to be MVP. We've never seen an offensive lineman win the MVP award. Like, never. But think about that. Like, the best players, statistics, this is proven. We're talking about year after year after year, has the highest grade in the National Football League is an offensive lineman. Chat, please jump in the chat right now. See if you guys know who I'm talking about. Please. Can anybody in the chat tell me who I'm about to say? Anybody. Give it 10 seconds. Talking about the face of should be the face of the NFL when we talk about the best player. Anybody say it? Yeah. Spinoff beats. Trent Williams out there in the Bay, San Francisco. Trent Williams should have been considered over the last 3 years. And this is a dude who's been in the league for what? Damn near 15 years, it feels like. He's him. He was the guy who was blocking in college for Adrian Peterson. Trent Williams, we see you. We salute you. We know what time it is. You should be considered as one of the non-quarterback MVP candidates. Another guy, this is an easy one. I wouldn't have been surprised if Deebo Samuel stood on the table for him, Christian McCaffrey, right? Can we agree there?
For sure.
Christian McCaffrey.
For sure. One hell of a season he's having.
You know what's interesting? Because I know you said that, like, you take this guy off of that, and I know we're having that discussion later, I believe. Like, if you take one of these quarterbacks off, can the team still roll? But, like, people were talking about how amazing. Somebody just came out and said Christian McCaffrey. Was it Olsen that said Christian McCaffrey?
Oh, yeah. Greg Olsen said during the 49ers-Eagles game that Christian McCaffrey is the best offensive player outside of a quarterback this season.
When he said that, I was like, you know what? Right. But, Tyreek Hill. But I'm looking at the running back position. And it's like situation is everything. Like, you take a Devontae Adams, you put him in a healthier situation. Devontae Adams is going to be the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. But because he's not in a healthy situation, he's not the number 1 wide receiver in the NFL. If you put Alvin Kamara in that San Francisco 49ers offense, what it could be. But we're not here to play the what-if thing. We're here because it's Marsh Madness. It's top 5 non-quarterback MVP candidates. The last one, All right, chat, jump in. Chat, who's number one? Non-quarterback MVP candidate. Yes, it's the cheetah. It's Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill is not only leading the non-quarterback MVP candidate race, but he should be leading the actual MVP race. Tyreek Hill is projected to have almost 2,100 yards, which we all know has never have been done before at the wide receiver position in the history of the NFL. We're talking about Jerry Rice. Jerry Rice didn't do it. Mike Evans didn't even do it. We got to start talking about Mike Evans because Mike Evans had 10 years in a row over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
Significant. Randy Moss never did it. T.O. never did it. Chad Ochocinco never did it. Steve Smith never did it. Marvin Harrison never did it. Isaac Bruce never did it. Mm-hmm. Torrey Holtz never did it. And I'm just naming names because there's so many amazing wide receivers that have come in this league and gone. OBJ, Justin Jefferson, the young boys, right? Larry Fitzgerald, Hines Ward. It's never been done before. So if he eclipsed 2,000 yards, we're going to riot if he doesn't win MVP. We're going to go to Times Square.
Should.
Everybody meet us in Times Square. We're going to loot. No, we're not going to promote any violence. We're not going to do that. We're not going to do that.
Yeah, we're not going to loot.
We're not going to loot.
We're not calling for a riot. We're not going to.
All right, well, what's a healthy riot? What is that, a protest?
We're not going to do that. We're just going to.
But I want it to be a little rowdy, though. I want them to think that we can go there. What could that be called?
We have a president who got indicted for something like that. I'm going to need you to rephrase your words.
And Kai from Twitch, remember when he went to, didn't he go to jail?
No, I think
he did go to jail.
Yeah, but I think.
They said he what is it called?
I think he was arrested, but I don't think he went to jail.
Well, it's the same thing. You get arrested, you go into where do you think they go to jail?
I don't consider a holding cell going to jail. Like,
Ashley, what is that?
That's just you're being held until you place bond. You could get bail.
Have you ever been to jail or have you ever been held? Mm-mm. That shit is jail.
Okay.
You're gonna be uncomfortable in there. You're gonna be freaking out.
That's not prison. Like,
oh my goodness,
bid.
Think about it. 2 days is nothing, right? You can sleep for 2 days on the weekend, right?
He wasn't even there he was in there for a few hours. That's not jail.
But what I'm about to say to you is this: like, if you actually were in a holding cell, that's what it's called, you would freak out.
Oh, for a few days, for sure, but a couple hours.
You'd be calling Patty, get
I don't know. He was only in there for a couple hours. It was basically like,
You know if you. So first off, we're gonna keep this up.
He literally got booked and was released the same night. He didn't even do 24 hours. Like,
if you got arrested, would your parents run to the bail bondsman and get you out?
Yeah, because they would probably be like it depends on what I did. Like, what did I do?
It doesn't matter.
I mean, yeah, because I would hope so because it's like I've never been in that situation.
You know what I do when my family and my friends get arrested?
Think about it for a couple days.
Your ass did it. You did the crime. You do the time. Don't Ashley. Halfway through my career, I'm sending $5,000 here for a lawyer, $10,000 here for that, $20,000 for that. Bail's bondsman over there. Man, I got to about year 5, year 6, probably when I got traded to the Dolphins. I said, hey. This is conference calls. This is before Zooms. You know, you had the little 1-800 number. You hit it, and then you got to hit the little code. Mm-hmm. I said, hey, everybody in the family, we're going to jump on this conference call. So we all there, about 25 deep. Aunties, uncles, grandmas, and all of that. Brothers, sisters, couple friends. Say, hey, don't call me if y'all ass go to jail no more. The bank is closed. If you do the crime, you do the time.
Oh, my God.
My sister got arrested. My poor baby sister got arrested. Innocent. She's in her youth. She called me, Brandon.
That's crazy.
I said, was you on that conference call? Why you calling me? Anyways, that is our top 5 non-quarterback MVP candidate, right? Can we throw that up there again? All right. TJ Watt should be considered. Micah Parsons should be considered. Trent Williams should be considered. I can't wait to see an offensive lineman win this award. Christian McCaffrey, and then obviously the cheetah, Tyreek Hill. What do you think? Did I miss anybody?
I think it's a good list.
Miss anybody? Okay, good. Thank you.
Good list.
Thank you.
All right, guys. We're going to go ahead and Brandon, did you ever do anything weird or like embarrassing?
Yes, a lot of weird stuff.
Ever do anything weird or embarrassing like during an interview? Like whether it was post game, ESPN interview, when you were inside the NFL. Like, did anything ever happen to you like in an interview where you were like, I hope like nobody just like, you know what I mean?
No, nothing
Never
crazy
like
weird.
burped or like, you know, like mid sentence or
no
had toilet paper stuck to the bottom of your shoe or nothing.
No, I was always so smooth. The only thing that weird happened to me was like. Totally forgot my words. I was like, like I'm always so smooth because I'm always able to like, you know,
pivot. Move.
Oh my goodness, gonna say pivot.
Sorry, that's the only word I can think of.
That's why I was like, I'm like this. I'm like,
Sorry.
I'm like, change direction. Redirect. Shit. I was like pivot. I be in meetings. People be like, being like business meetings. They be like, yeah, the business we need to pivot. I'm like, fuck. I had somebody on my team. I'm like, do you not emotional intelligence? Why are you using pivot? Pivot is canceled. The word pivot is canceled on the platform.
You're always good at redirecting. So you just got like
such a good name.
You just got like
it's such a good name. It is. They did a great job branding.
You got like stuck at the podium and like did not know like you couldn't get yourself out of the situation.
Never.
You're just like you just up there with frozen.
Stuck like it's like Michael Irvin, get me, help me.
Well, luckily for you, you've never farted during an interview.
Somebody farted.
The same can't be said for this reporter who just during a regular NHL post-game interview had to handle business.
Wow.
Go ahead.
What's gone through your mind in the last 48 hours from the end of the game on Saturday to the start of this one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't great feeling last game, but what was the question?
Yo, that is so good. And he played it so smooth. He really, oh my goodness.
I'm trying.
That really happened. You know, I would have been messy. I would have been like, yo, who did it? Let's talk about it. Let's get messy. He played off, what's his name, Andre?
No, he didn't do it.
I know, but he just played off so smoothly. He was like, he laughed, put his head down and kept it moving. I would have called the dude out. Can we run that back again one more time? One more time, please.
Great stat line, by the way.
In the last 48 hours from the end of the game on Saturday to the start of this one?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it wasn't great feeling last game, but what was the question?
You know what? You want to ask me the question? Have you done something?
I've never farted during
anything weird, anything embarrassing.
I burped on air once by mistake.
Really?
Yeah, like it wasn't even like a big burp. It was like one of those like combination, like when like the air, like it was like one of those things where it was like I was talking or whatever, and I don't know, maybe I had like I was drinking at the same time. It was like one of those type of burps, not like it was like a baby one. But I was like looking around to see if anyone heard it, but I don't think anyone picked it up.
I have a confession.
It was on radio.
I have a confession.
What? Oh, that you fart here? We know that.
No.
Oh.
I never farted in here in front of you. Don't even paint that story. I'm clean. I have a confession. Because you and I, we bump heads at times, right? Mm-hmm. And we've had some big debates, okay? And one day I was mad at you. It was like post big debate. Mm-hmm. And you had a booger. And I didn't tell you. That's I was like, F her.
But you know what?
I was like, F her.
Nobody saw it on camera, so.
Hey, woo, BC. Mm-hmm. Hey, I'm sitting here. You're supposed to be a good teammate and be like, hey, you supposed to do all of that. I said, F Ashley. Hey, look,
but you know what? Nobody saw it because if Andrew would have saw it, he would have told me because Andrew always tells me, so that's fine. Yeah, I've hiccup burped on the mic before on radio, and you're a liar. You've definitely farted in here before.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
No. Mm-hmm. In front of you?
We've heard it.
No way.
Hand of God.
You cap.
No, I'm not. Heard it.
You gotta.
Heard it.
Really?
Yep.
Did I say excuse me?
You were laughing. That's how I know you knew.
Oh, okay.
That's how I know
That's
you
terrible.
knew. You tried to like play it off, but then you started laughing. I'm like, all right. So like, okay, cool.
Dang, that's so not like me.
Brady, you don't wash your hands when you go to the bathroom. You're talking about that's not like you.
Why y'all created a crazy narrative with this hand washing thing?
We created the
narrative?
narrative?
I'm just saying. You know how I feel. If I have to rush back on air, it's like, do I wash my hands or do I got 5 seconds, 10 seconds to get back? You don't wash your hands, you come back. It's a good teammate. It's like sports. You know, sometimes you got to go to the bathroom, but if you go in the locker room, you might miss a whole drive. So what do? You pee right there on yourself. You just pee. You sit right there. You just piss. Well, now they don't do that anymore because they got smart. What we used to do is like, all right, old school, the guys pee on themselves. And then what we start doing is we'll get like 2 equipment managers. They'll grab towels and you go right by the cooler. And it's the weirdest thing. It's literally right where they putting the Gatorade at, and you just sit there, kneel. They put the towels right, and you pee right there. Nobody can see, right? But then what they start doing is they start grabbing these little pee pouches. And so you go in a tent and you can use the pee pouch.
What the hell is a pee pouch? Like
it's a bag.
A bag that you pee in?
Yeah.
What do you do with the bag?
You throw it away.
So why wouldn't you just pee on the grass?
Because it's
or
like... Or
just pee directly in a garbage can. Why would you pee in a bag to throw the bag in the garbage?
It's uncouth.
To pee in a garbage can?
No, to just pee on the ground and whip it out.
So then why not just take the garbage can into the blue tent, pee in the garbage can, and then why are you putting it in a pouch just to put it in the trash anyway?
Tomato. Hey, we just want to win a football game and pee. Can we pee? Can we pee peacefully?
Why can't you just run to the bathroom and pee?
No, you can't run to the bathroom and pee because you might miss a whole drive.
What if
that's a long walk?
What if you play offense and defense is on the field?
Huh?
What if you play offense and defense is on the field?
You mean you can't? You still might miss a drive.
No, we saw Jason Kelce run to the bathroom when the offense was on the field.
Yeah, but guess what? What if there's a turnover on downs? What if there's a turnover on downs? You got to go grab your helmet. You got to get out there. Hey, really quickly, because we're talking about walking to the locker room in the bathroom. That's where the bathroom's in the locker room, or it could be in a tunnel. That was so funny yesterday when we were talking about Trevor Lawrence, and we're talking about his injury. But you're like, why did he walk? Why did he get? Where was the cart?
They didn't have a cart for this man.
I saw like a little viral video where, like, he literally limped half a mile.
No, for real.
Yeah, I saw. Did you see a video, the clip? There was.
I've seen them bring out carts for like guys who had to go to the bathroom. Like why are you having your franchise quarterback walk from the field to the tunnel to the locker room? Where the hell is the cart?
That's crazy. Yeah, that was funny.
That's insane to me.
Well, this kid Andre, the farting video, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's funny, and also
he was better than I was.
Can we throw the still shot of him up there real quick?
Oh, we have a still shot?
I mean, 25 saves against 25 shots. What a hell of a stat line.
Oh, he's a goalie.
That's a shutout right there. Absolutely. That's one hell of a stat line. Shout out to him. Right. I mean, obviously I'm a Rangers fan, so it's screw the Tampa Bay Lightning forever. But
what happened? They beat them in a.
They just are really. They just have.
I don't even know what you're talking about. Like, are they in the same division? I don't even know.
Tampa Bay Lightning is just
hockey.
A freaking monster of a team, bro. It's just like.
Which is weird. It's in Florida, which doesn't really matter because you can free agency recruit guys, do all that. But like, how does that work? Is it like divisions in hockey? I don't even know how to discuss
the Atlantic
hockey.
Division of the Eastern Conference. Yeah.
So they have 2 conferences?
It's Brendan, we don't have time to break down the whole makings of hockey, but
I know football. I know basketball. I like going to a hockey game. Mm-hmm. I've been to a couple. Been to 4 in my life. It was really fun.
Didn't you go to a Blackhawks game?
Yeah, recently I shot a puck. Yeah. I mean, I shot. Yeah, is that what it's called? Shot a puck?
Yeah.
Okay, I did that. That was just recently. That was like a week ago.
Yeah.
That was fun. I like baseball, like watching it. I like getting back when I used to eat, meat, poultry, and all of that. Having a brats. Oh my goodness, so good. Yeah. And then get a beer. Yeah. It was like the best thing ever. But I don't know how to talk baseball.
The freaking Lightning, man. They're just a hell of a team. They're not in our division, but they're in our conference. So there's 2 conferences in hockey, like in basketball, Western and Eastern. but in each conference, there's 2 divisions. They're not in our division. We're the Metropolitan Division, but they're just a hell of a.
See, that's first.
They're a hell of a.
If you want to fix hockey, first you got to change the language. Metropolitan Division, that's weak. Metropolitan. You said there's 2 divisions.
Yeah.
Metropolitan and East?
No, Atlantic.
So there's 3 divisions.
No, Eastern is the conference. It's Atlantic Division and Metropolitan Division.
Oh, okay. And then
2 divisions in each conference.
Okay, got it. Okay, all right.
Yeah.
Moving on.
All right, go ahead. We are now going to go ahead. LT was probably one of my favorite interviews that we've done. It's just, first of all, being able to interview a GOAT, a legend, a Hall of Famer is absolutely incredible. But also one thing I love about the older football players is that they don't hold any punches. They're not politics. They're like, I've done it all. I've seen it all. You know, I've seen the eras of the game change. I've seen players come and players go, and I'm going to keep it real. And LT did just that. So I don't know if you guys remember when we spoke about Tom Brady on the show about how he says that the game is...
Last week.
Yeah, or a week before last. Ago. Yeah. He said that the game is what now?
Soft.
Basically.
He said it was soft. But he said something else is like the science behind it. But yeah, basically it was
basically he said the game is soft now, that it's not... he doesn't see that same level of competitiveness that when he was playing. And, LT chimed in on Brady's podcast specifically. And LT said that it would, quote, be hard for him to play. He said, quote, it would be hard for me to play. I may have ended the season owing the NFL money. So he basically agreed with Tom Brady and said that the game would not be conducive for how he played the game, and that he's seeing it become softer as the years progress. And a lot of the guys from his era, even Brady's era, would not do well in the modern NBA or NFL. Sorry, NBA in the mind, NFL on the tongue. Brandon, you've kind of seen the game change a little bit too, playing as many years as you did. Obviously not going back to the LT days, but I would say that from when you were drafted to when you ended your career, there were a lot of changes that happens in the game, especially when it comes to how you were able to hit offensive players. And that, again, is tied to developments in science and technology, learning, the effects that the game of football has on the body, the mind, and ultimately trying to preserve the careers of these guys while they're playing, but also the lifestyle of the lifestyles that they'll have after they retire. So that is part of the reason why the game has changed, as we now know. But what changes have you seen even going back to the early 2000s?
I feel like you got to go back to the 90s, actually. I'm 39, Ashley. I feel like I've experienced almost all of football except like the leather helmet era of football. Seriously, like that was a totally different game. Like that was wild, right?
Those leather helmet videos are insane.
Right.
I'm like, yo, y'all were playing with that thing on your head. Y'all would have been like, nah, that's where I draw the line. Like,
I know, that was intense. But I actually started playing ball in the 90s, 6 years old. And this is, contact. This is equipment. And where I grew up in Pittsburgh, really intense, like a lot of places are when it comes to youth sports. And we had this thing called schooning. Schooning is first day of pads, right? First day of pads, 6-year-old kids, 7-year-old kids, you put the shoulder pads on, you put the helmet on. And then what you're doing is you're like, all right, it's contact. We do Oklahoma drills. We do all this, bull in the ring drills. You used to have the entire team in a circle. You pick one guy. And now you're in the middle of this circle. And you got to chop your feet, move your arms. And then the coach might say 50. And you got to quickly find 50. Could be behind you, could be to the right, could be left, could be in front of you. And then y'all hit. So just imagine someone coming from behind and smack you, boom, boom, boom. But we had this one thing called schooning as soon as you put the pads on. And literally grown men, coaches coming and slapping kids in the head. Bam, first day of pads, bam. You think about head trauma, all these things. That shit start when you a kid. So now you fast forward from like youth football to high school football to college football. College football, my era, 2-a-days. You talk about practicing 100-degree weather. Oh, my goodness, it was so brutal. We had people die and pass out pass out, and then also people die. And then so now in the NFL, all these rule changes that, this era we're talking about, eliminating the head, taking the head out of the game. We're talking about crackback blocking. I sat down with Mike Evans yesterday. You'll see that episode after this show. And he talked about, like, he loved that, like, wide receivers, the Hines Wards of the world coming back and smacking Ed Reed and decleating these guys. You don't see that. And so the game has changed drastically. But what I said to LT on our show, and I said it to him, a couple times we've seen each other offline, is like, bro, like, the game is changing for the better. Like, I'm tired of seeing our old guys walking around, because what you said about the old guys is true. Like, they just real, but they also broken, right? And so I'm tired of seeing our guys walking around crippled at 60 or even 55. Like, 55, you still supposed to be running around. You supposed to be doing marathons. Y'all supposed to be doing Ironman. What are we doing here? Why do we look like this? Why are we shaking, right? And so you have that. But the other part to Brady's comments, I know we're talking about LT here. He was talking about the sophistication of the game and the details of the game, and that has changed too. But I still like the product of the game. So, it's interesting. Brady speak. We talk about these comments for 3 weeks.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting, but I think that I can understand the nostalgia of sports, and I can understand missing aspects of it. I feel the same way about the NBA. I feel like a lot of, and again, I didn't even get a chance to really see the defensive edge of the NBA in its prime and its prime. When I started to really understand the game and was really starting to watch it and become a fan, it was starting to change already. It obviously was more aggressive and more physical than it is now in the early 2000s, when Kobe was first in the league and young LeBron and AI and those guys. But it was still different than it was in the 80s and the 90s where they were beating each other up in the paint. So while I understand that the game has to progress, I can also understand missing aspects of it and maybe like going too far in one direction.
Right.
And I think that that's something that a lot of players who have seen the game change from its most physical to its least physical have a hard time accepting, because it seems like it's gone from one extreme to the other instead of finding like an equal. There are times when you watch the game that there are, roughing the passer calls, made, and you barely touch the quarterback.
Correct. We've gone too far in a lot of areas.
We've gone too far. Some of these calls are just so egregious and so ticky-tack that it's almost like, is this football? Like, what makes football is its aggression, is its physicality. And we've gotten to the point where, and I understand, again, the science of it, because you're trying to protect, everything from the physical to the cognitive to everything in between. But it's also taking away from the identity of the game. I mean, watching it sometimes, and you have a quarterback who's clearly a runner. I can't hit him.
Yeah, you can't touch him. Are you even scared to touch him?
You're scared to touch him.
You've seen how many times you've seen the guy about to go sack the quarterback, and
you don't touch him, or it results in just a weak attempt at a tackle, and that tackle allows the quarterback to break free because you're barely touching him. Or you see the defense go after a wide receiver right in the open field, and because, they grabbed him the wrong way, or they threw him to the ground in a way that looked a little bit too aggressive, 15-yard penalty. It's gotten to the point where it's like almost exhausting to watch. And it's like, if it's going to become a game where you can't touch anybody, just make it flag football.
That's right. No, I agree with you. There's a lot of times we're watching these games, a lot around the quarterback. Sometimes with the receiver, where you're like, man, like, we've gone too far, and it affects the outcome of a lot of these games.
For sure.
Right? Where roughing the passer or a guy not being touched because they're afraid to touch him, and then he extends the play. So, I hear everybody on that, but I am glad that we're taking the head out of the game. That's the biggest thing for me.
I completely agree.
I'm glad that we're doing that, and I know there's still old school players that don't like it, right? And,
no, completely agree. I just wish that we would find a little bit more of it when it comes to the body. A little bit more of equal balance between the past and the present, because I feel like it's gone to the point where you can't even touch an offensive player, especially a quarterback or a wide receiver, without there being some sort of a penalty.
That's right.
Like,
I agree.
You can't hit him with your shoulder too low. You can't hit him to the ground too hard. You can't step over them. And also, one thing before we move on, can we get rid of the taunting penalty? I hate taunting penalties. Like, when you tackle a guy to the ground.
Is that why OBJ got fined? Because he just got fined for 10K.
I believe it was for there's nothing that annoys me more than when a guy will make a crazy defensive play. The guy's laying on the ground and he's standing over him, looks down, and now it's a penalty. I can't look at him now. Like, what the hell? Like, that's the fun of it. Like, oh yeah, you just got knocked. Like, that's what makes playground football so exciting to like watch, and like young football and high school.
That's so disrespectful, but
it's trash.
I can see that being accepted. I can see that being, since we're on that. One more thing, last question, only question on this topic. What else would you change? If you want to change something, you want to
I think that we need to change the taunting penalties. I think that unsportsmanlike conduct penalties are just egregiously soft at this point. Some of the penalties that guys get for celebrating touchdowns is insane to me. Like, I get a touchdown, you're telling me I can't do a certain celebration in the end zone. As long as it's not as long as it's not graphic or like racially based or like something like that, you're telling me that I can't. Me like taking somebody's cell phone and flipping it upside down is like a pet. Like, get out of my face.
Yeah, that one, the Tyreek Hill one was like, I didn't like that. And shout out to Tyreek Hill for paying that guy the photographer's salary for the rest of the year. There was a photographer that got his credentials taken
from the NFL,
and I think fired
for the phone
because he gave him your phone, but they definitely planned that.
Come on,
so that wasn't cool because it was awesome. But here's another thing that just happened, right? Dallas Cowboys
with the Salvation Army.
They didn't get fined this year.
They didn't, but remember Ezekiel Elliott got fined
for years
for jumping into the little pot with the Salvation Army. It's just insane. Like, it's football. We're playing sports. We're not, solving the global warming crisis. Like, stop making it so just constructive.
Well, it's better now. It's not as they're doing more now. They're doing more now. I feel like that's why they actually keep some of this stuff around, because they want to stay in some type of control. Just imagine if it was like no rules. It'll go too far.
Yeah.
Like, we'll go too far.
For sure. All right, guys. Well, it is now time for Yo Rookie, presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar, NFL Rookie of the Week.
Yo.
So just a reminder, guys, voting closes tomorrow at 11 a.m. If you want to go ahead and vote for any of the Week 13 nominees, head over to NFL.com/voting/rookies. That's NFL.com/voting/rookies. And speaking of our Week 13 nominees, here they go. All right, no surprises here. We're going to run through these real quick. CJ Stroud back on the list for, I feel like, the 100th time. 274 yards and a TD. We have Devon Achane, running back from the Miami Dolphins. I'm sure they're glad to have him back. 103 scrimmage yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. We have Zach Charbonnet, running back from the Seahawks. 99 scrimmage yards and 1 rushing touchdown. Puka Nacua, we haven't seen him in a while. 139 yards from scrimmage and 1 receiving touchdown. We have Sam Laporta, tight end from the Detroit Lions, 9 catches for 140 yards and 1 TD. And last but not least, from the Houston Texans, joining his teammate CJ, Will Anderson had 5 tackles and 2 sacks in the Texans' win. And we didn't speak to a rookie yesterday, but we did speak to a legend, and that is Roddy White. He joined the show yesterday, and we got to talk all things with him. Brandon got to walk down memory lane. We got to hear some funny stories. But he also happened to give us his Super Bowl prediction. Listen to this.
Man, right now? Oh, boy. I got Lamar Jackson in the Niners.
Dang.
Ooh. You know what? I got Baltimore, and I got the Cowboys.
Man, the Cowboys ain't beating the 49ers at home, man.
If the Cowboys get home field advantage, I think they'll get the Niners.
All right, I was with Roddy when he had Dak as the MVP, but he lost me with his Super Bowl prediction. But Brandon, let's play a little game real quick before we close out this segment. I'm going to give you a scenario. Ooh. It's late January. We're in the Bay. All right, so we're in San Fran.
Okay. Late
Cowboys are facing the Niners in the divisional round. Or the NFC Championship, depending we may get.
That's a big difference.
We may go the distance. That's okay. Listen, divisional round or NFC Championship, one of the two. We're gonna face them. What is the score?
In the Bay.
In the Bay. January, beautiful football weather, real grass. Cowboys fans travel well. What's the score?
Both offenses firing on all cylinders right now, so can definitely put points up. Mm-hmm. But both have defense. Mm-hmm. I would say that the defense is going to win that game, and so I'm not going to go. I'm going to take the under, and whatever the points would be, I would take the under, and I would probably say 2017. Don't ask you. Don't. You want to ask
who's
me
the winner?
You don't do that.
You got to pick a winner. 2017 who?
2017 Cowboys.
I'll take it.
2017 Cowboys.
I'll take it.
I love the stories.
We got some predictions in the chat here. We got, first of all, Young and Bossy, you're disrespectful. 52-10 Niners. Get out of my face. We have another 35-28 Niners. We have Dallas 30, San Francisco 27.
No, it's not.
We have 24-18 Niners. Let's see if we get any other predictions here.
Take the under.
Niners will win over the Cowboys. Let's see who else we got. We have any other score predictions, guys? Going once?
We want your score
going
prediction.
Twice?
Give us yours while we're waiting on maybe one or two others.
I'm going to go 27.
27? You're taking an over?
27-24 Cowboys.
I wouldn't be surprised there. Yeah,
27-24 Cowboys. We got a few more. We got
35-28.
30-27 Niners, 33-27. We got 35-28 Niners. We have 14-10 Dallas. Interesting. That's a low scoring game. 24-13 Niners.
People are going to be uptight.
They should
The Dallas Cowboys going to be uptight because this is going to be, you got to think about the pressure. You got to think about the story. Oh, the Cowboys can't get over the hump. So you got to think about McCarthy. Is he going to call it loose or is he going to call it tight? Dak Prescott, are you going to go out there and let it rip? Or are you going to be very strategic, intentional, and almost conservative a little bit? And then you go to the San Francisco 49ers. They might be playing a little tight too. Why? Kyle Shanahan. If Kyle Shanahan, bruh. Kyle, how many times you gonna get us to the NFC Championship? How many times you get us to Super Bowl? Can we get it?
I'm not thinking this far ahead. I have a very specific task on my hand in a few days, and that is to fry some bird. So that is where our heads need to be.
Look, she's
take it a week at a time, boys.
Coach McCarthy.
Don't think too far ahead. Don't look behind. We're going bird hunting this weekend, fellas. How about them Cowboys? And that will do it for Yo Rookie, presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar, NFL Rookie of the Week. All right. Listen, do you remember the Hack-a-Shack that they used to do to Shaquille O'Neal in basketball?
Yes.
Do you remember? Do you remember what that was?
Yeah, so they fouled because he couldn't shoot free throws. They fouled him.
That was the narrative. Uh-huh.
Yeah, they fouled him. He go to the line and, you know what I mean, banking on he going to miss the free throws.
Basically, that's the Hack-a-Shack, everyone. And that's becomes a technique.
I'm kind of, before you move on, I'm kind of insulted that you asked me.
I knew that you knew, which is why I asked you.
No, because some of y'all be saying I don't know basketball.
I knew that you knew.
I'm cooking you right now in basketball this season.
You're not.
So far.
You're not. How are your sons doing, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so Hack-a-Shack has become kind of a urban legend. Not an urban legend because we know that it exists, but it's become a technique that's been used throughout the years in basketball to go ahead and take advantage of guys who aren't great at the free throw line, but is that now traveling to the NFL? Because TJ Watt is now at the center of maybe getting the hack-a-shack treatment. His defensive coordinator in Pittsburgh compared Watt dealing with uncalled holding penalties to the infamous hack-a-shack.
Okay.
Made famous by Shaquille O'Neal, as Brandon said, because of his poor free throw shooting. So, Brandon, do you agree or disagree with this analogy?
I agree, but I also think it really doesn't really translate because but it also happens at the wide receiver corner position as well. Because basically what you're saying is just hold them. Just hold them, right? Like, because when we were talking about non-quarterback candidates, that's what I meant when I was going through that whole illustration of like Joe Burrow dropping back and you got to pay attention, you got to look instead of looking downfield. Do you trust this guy? Hell no, I don't trust you. He's going to beat you one-on-one. So you know TJ Watt one-on-one is going to beat any tackle out there outside of Trent Williams, period. And so what do? You hold him and you say, I'll take the penalty. Because what's more devastating is a strip sack touchdown.
Right.
Strip sack fumble, your quarterback being injured.
Right.
That's more devastating. So you go hold those guys. So it makes sense. Because I've seen a lot of corners do this as well, where it's like, look, if he beat me, I'm just grabbing him. I'll take the penalty. Cool. Especially holding. Holding's 5. Penalty is, defensive pass interference is a little different. But, yes, it makes sense to me. It makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I get the technique, but I don't think the comparison really translates.
Correct, yeah.
Because there's no free throws. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, it's not really quite the same thing. There's no penalty for holding TJ Watt. All it does is it takes him, when I say penalty, I mean on his side.
Correct.
All it does is take him out of the play, take him out of the game. But there's nothing that, like, he has to do to get him. You know what I mean? It's just like a weird comparison.
It's so funny. I'm going to send this to you, Woo. There was something on Twitter the other day where it was maybe this weekend, Connor Hughes from the Jets, so a guy on the beat, put this clip out. And it was me going against Byron Maxwell, the corner he was playing for the Miami Dolphins at the time. And he just kept holding. And so what I did is I went out and talked about this in the media before, and I actually wore a yellow flag instead of a towel or with my towel. And I'm like, yo, stop holding. And I brought up old memories. So I'm thinking about this week, and I'm like, it actually was the thing that pissed me off the most about it was, okay, cool, we got the penalty, but I missed out on the yards. Like there was games I could have went for 200, 300 damn yards, but these corners hold you. So, Andrew, I'm going to try to find this clip, and then we can come back to it because it's pretty cool. And I want to see if we can throw it out there.
All right. Well, in the meantime, let's go ahead.
If I know how to work
and,
Twitter.
Toss to a little bit of a record. I mean, a man who just got on a very impressive list. Excuse me. Oh, my gosh. Sorry.
Listen to Aaron Rodgers. Listen to Aaron Rodgers.
Listen, Mike Evans just joined a very impressive list. He is up there with Jerry Rice as the only wide receiver to record 10 consecutive seasons of 1,000 yards or more. So one hell of a list for Mike Evans to find himself on.
Hall of Famer?
For sure, Hall of Famer.
First ballot?
For sure, first ballot Hall of Famer. And you got to go ahead and sit down and speak to him about a topic that a lot of guys, current and former, are diving into, and that is the current state of the game.
That's right.
Check this out, guys.
And it's a violent game, and that's what we signed up for. So, I love the big hits. On offense, we can't even crack back anymore. I used to love doing that. Like, that was one of my favorite things. A big D lineman, they can't see me, and I get the chance to take them out. Because when it's a change of possession, fumble or pick six, they're looking to take us out. We go across the middle, they're looking to take us out. And I used to love getting an opportunity to get some get back. The screen game was way better back then because guys could chop, cut back, do all those things, and you can't do it anymore. So, I understand player safety, but it's what we signed up for. I promise the players would still play if the rules were modified a little.
Very interesting take from Mike Evans, and I feel like it's on par with what we were just talking about when we were speaking about LT being on Tom Brady's podcast. And it's finding that equal balance between past and present. Right. And like he said, and much like I said, and I, agree, it's about player safety, and, you have to evolve the game as you learn more about the effects that the game has on the body. Completely agree with that. Completely understand that. And that's in sports in general. Like, it'd be irresponsible to play the game in totality how it was played in the 90s when you now know scientifically what you can do to make it safer.
Right.
It would be irresponsible to not make those changes. But with the things that necessarily can remain the same, they should remain the same. And much to his point, when you play football, you're not signing up to play, baseball.
That's right.
You know it's a physical sport. It's a dangerous sport. Injuries are the unfortunate reality of the sport. So trying to remove every aspect of what makes football is not only making it harder for the guys who play the game, and again, who were taught from a very young age to play the game a certain type of way, because they're not teaching the same rules and regulations they do in Pee Wee and in high school and in middle school and whatever league you play in outside of your school's program in the NFL. It's not the same. So trying to take away every aspect of what makes football is not only making it difficult for the players, but it's making it difficult for the fans to really enjoy the game in the way that it's supposed to be enjoyed.
Yeah, but I think that from a player's perspective, like my sons hate it. They got bit by the little football bug, and he wants to do it. It sucks. He's 8, right? And I got a 4-year-old as well.
I know you were trying to hide the footballs in the house.
Right. And
we don't have these here, kids.
Oh, so I actually got a booger right there.
Do I?
I like you today.
Oh my God.
I'm just playing.
Stop!
I'm just playing. No, but I think when he gets older, it's just that's going to be their game. So from a player's perspective, like the ones that kind of came up in it, and we're almost out of it already, right? Like a lot of these guys, we're talking about taking a hit out of the game has been around for damn near 6-7 years or something, maybe even around that, right? We've been talking about this for a minute.
I feel like it's been longer than that.
Really? So
maybe
even if
like
it was
past decade, maybe? Roughly?
Maybe.
Because we're going into 2024. I feel like this conversation started like 2014. Right?
Wow. So think about it. Like these guys coming in, this is all they know. Like when I led with my helmet, we used to let's go flip goos, and we used to lead with our helmet, do all of that. And now, these guys are hitting with their chest. So from a player's perspective, I don't think it'll be a problem. From a fan's perspective, I think as long as the NFL continues to put out a great product, an exciting product, we'll be chirping and yapping like the ones that understand where we came from, but they're still going to be excited about it because it's still good football being played, right? Yeah. Like we're still excited about this. Like this season, we said this last year, and I got to be careful I don't do this every damn year, but we said this last year in the NBA, like, this is going to be one of the most exciting NBA postseasons ever. It feels like this is shaping up to be one of the most legendary January's postseasons ever. Like, the who's beating whoever, right? And look at how Philly lost this past week. Like, how the hell 42-19? Sorry to get off track here though, Ashley, because I missed a lot this weekend. Did Philly not have? Did they not get the memo?
About what?
Like the 49ers, was it half the team or all the team that came in all black? Like I missed all of this stuff this weekend.
What, the 49ers?
Yeah, they
I just know Deebo had black Air Forces on, and you don't mess with someone wearing black Air Forces.
Ashley, they got off the bus. And that's all the clip. Because I heard that 49ers arrived in all black. Like, was the whole team or was it just whatever? But all the dogs came in all black.
Maybe
all black, everything. They fly Balenciaga, Dior, but it's all black.
Yeah.
Like, they came on the mission. They got the memo. Deebo
dressed for a funeral.
And the Philadelphia Eagles, what they just thought? Like, just a regular Sunday, just a regular game. Like, what?
Their black mentality's up here, not out here. You know what I mean?
But kidding me?
I'll tell you this. When I saw Deebo warming up with the black Air Forces, I was like, oh, it's war.
Right.
I'll tell you one thing. I'm not afraid of, I'm afraid of bees. I'm afraid of spiders. Those like my fears. When it comes to people, I don't fear people.
But if they have on them black Air Forces.
I would never cross somebody wearing black Air Forces. That's just like,
That's wild.
You got it.
Ashley, what was
whatever you want, you got it.
Right. Like, they didn't get the memo.
Yeah.
Ashley, Deebo Samuel was supposed to be in like 3 or 4 fights. Nobody even touched him.
Nah, Deebo came ready.
That's what I'm saying. Like
Deebo came in the menace uniform. That's the menace uniform.
The Eagles didn't get the memo. Like that off top, first play of the game, he's supposed to be slapped in the head. Bam.
The interesting part though is that they said they didn't plan that.
They didn't plan what?
That most of the guys didn't plan to wear all black. It just happened that way.
Yeah, right.
That's what they said.
Who said that?
That's what
the chat?
You
reading the chat right now?
No, that's what was said when they asked a few players post game, like, did you guys plan? And they said that it wasn't planned.
Cat.
That's what they said. So we'll see. When can people tune into the full Mike Evans interview before we move on?
Today. Right after the show.
All right. So
right after the show.
Right after today's show, do not move because the full Mike Evans conversation will be available to view on the I Am Athlete YouTube page or the page you're on right now. So it makes it really easy for you.
Gosh, you need to listen to
Aaron. I got something stuck in my throat.
Sauna. Go get in the sauna after this.
I'm not sick. It's from talking so much. My throat gets dry.
You did that 5 times today.
My throat is dry. This is a long run of show. I know, but when drinking and talking at the same time, listen. When we talk about Aaron Rodgers, what do we say all the time? We say, 1, he is the greatest
thrower of the football that we've ever seen.
And then we also critique the fact that he only won what in Green Bay?
1 Super Bowl.
All right. Well, we have a new star in Green Bay. He goes by the name of Jordan Love. Now, he has played in an outstanding last 3 games, and now the Packers are actually thinking playoffs, which is insane considering the way that this season started in terms of predictions for the Green Bay Packers. And dare I say, they may even catch the Detroit Lions. Hold on.
Yeah, go.
And a big reason for their success is Jordan Love. Now, Green Bay's former quarterback had some thoughts on the young star. Listen to this.
He's playing especially the last 3 games, he's playing outstanding, but he's in his first year starting. Like, as well as he's playing, can we not crown him right now?
Yeah.
For his own sake. Because we shouldn't do that to kids. We shouldn't crown him, and we shouldn't cancel him.
Darius just crowned him.
Yeah, I would crown him.
Okay, go ahead. That's fine. I love Jordan. I think he's going to be a great player in the league for a long time. Yeah. But can we let him play his career? Like, and it's both sides too. People. A great example is Geno Smith. People just kicked him out of this town.
They wrote him off.
And then he went and was a backup for 6 years. And then he went to a Pro Bowl. And sometimes it's situation, sometimes it's change of scenery, sometimes it's figuring something out. I do believe you can get better at accuracy because you throw the football from the ground up. So you learn how to have great fundamentals. Everything else, when you sync those together, everything else is going to be better. So am I surprised by the way Jordan's played? No. Am I happy for him? Hell yeah.
Love Aaron Rodgers. You love him. Just say it. Come on.
I like Aaron Rodgers.
You liked him, but now you love him.
I don't know. I like him
Come
still.
on, Ashley, for real.
I like him still.
What's there not to love?
No, I love Dak Prescott. I like Aaron Rodgers. You see the difference there?
I would like to see Dak Prescott do this.
I loved Peyton Manning. I like Aaron Rodgers.
But Peyton Manning showed his personality.
I know, but what I'm saying is for me, I really like Aaron Rodgers, but I loved Peyton. I love Dak. Like, I don't love Aaron Rodgers.
You love Peyton. Why did you love Peyton? Because that was all pure football.
No. I liked Peyton's personality. I thought he had, like, this weird, dry sense of humor. It was dorky. I loved watching him play football. Honestly, in my opinion, one of the greatest top 5 quarterbacks of all time.
No. Let's stop. You can say it. Go ahead and say it. If Peyton Manning won more,
Peyton's not for me. If Peyton Tom Brady's the greatest quarterback of all
Peyton
time.
has 2 Super Bowls, but if Peyton won 4, it's a real debate of who's the best of all time.
For me, best of all time is Tom Brady. Like, I loved Tom Brady.
I know, but Tom Brady with 7. Peyton Manning with 4.
No, I'm talking about like what they are now. Like, Tom Brady is the GOAT. I loved Brady.
I'm trying to go back in retrospect.
I loved Peyton. I like Aaron Rodgers. I don't love Aaron Rodgers.
Now
I like him.
Dak Prescott.
I love me Dak Prescott. That's my QB. That's my QB. Of course I love him. That's
I would love for him to do that. Talk like Aaron Rodgers. Like, I want, like, he's cool. I've hung out with him once before. And he's cool as hell.
Dak has a personality though.
Yes, I know. I would love for him to show it.
He shows it
Even
on
Russell
air.
Wilson. I would love for Russell Wilson.
That
my
shows
guy.
more of his personality on air.
All this institutional stuff and like, I can't rock the boat. I'm the quarterback. The face of the franchise. Man, the hell with that, man.
If you follow like the Cowboys on social media, Dak's always is showing his personality.
Man,
like
it's controlled. It's in controlled environment.
Dak's not like a rah.
And I can put Russell Wilson in that too. My guy. Your guy, my guy. Show more personality. Like when I say it's like they like that, you know, and it's tough because we don't walk in their shoes. Like being a quarterback is tough of the Dallas Cowboys.
For sure.
And to be Russell Wilson, that's tough.
Like I'll tell you this, how I feel about Aaron Rodgers is kind of how I felt about Brady. I really liked Brady in New England, but I loved him in Tampa. I loved him in Tampa.
So you love him?
No, I don't love Aaron. Like, I'm not at that level with Aaron Rodgers, but I liked Brady in New England.
Yeah.
But I loved Tampa Bay
What
Tom
did you
Brady.
love about what was different? What did you love about Tom and Tampa?
Because I feel Tom in Tampa was just like, yo, I'm the GOAT. I've done it all. Like, now my personality's out here. I'm going to say what I want to say, do what I want to do, move how I want to move. I liked him in New England because of how he played, but I loved him in Tampa because he showed his personality.
Well, there was one moment, I think this is what you're talking about. There was one moment where, well, it was his last year where he had to take off. Remember in training camp, he missed a week.
But don't
and
you
he said, remember what he said when he came back in his press conference, and this is what I mean. This is what when I'm talking about Dak and the Russell Wilsons of him, like, yo, give us more. Because, and I use this as an example, Tom Brady came back and there's like, oh, is he getting divorced? Was he going through? And he said, life can be fucking hard. Mm-hmm. Life is, he cursed. He said that. Mm-hmm. And it was like, wow, like he was human.
Mm-hmm. But I also loved, don't you remember when they had the parade and he tossed the Lombardi and he was drunk off his ass?
Yes, that's right.
Tequila,
That's right.
And he had to be carried out of the marina after the parade. Right. And he's talking about the avocado ice. Like, I love Tom Brady in Tampa. Right. Tom Brady in Tampa was like, yo, this guy is cool. I actually saw him in at Casadona like 2.5 weeks ago.
Really?
I did. He was there with David Grutman.
The girl, Ivana. What's his little girlfriend's name?
Oh, I don't know. Tom Brady?
Yeah, the little model chick.
Oh,
he loves models. Tom, you love models.
He wasn't there with any woman. I saw him with David Grutman or whatever. I was like, oh my god! But Tom, he was there laughing like, I like this Tom Brady. This Tom Brady is cool. I like this Tom Brady.
Tom Brady is the coolest dude in the world.
He's funny too.
What I love about Tom too, like if I hit him right now, he'll hit me right back. And it's like, and I always told him like, I ain't play with you. You know what I'm saying? But he respects the fraternity. Yeah. He's like, yo, I respect you. I played against you, competed against you. And he don't live on this, you know, this pedestal.
Yeah, Tom.
That's what I love about Tom.
I like seeing, and now that he lives here, you get to, like, if you go to certain spots, like you see him all the time. Like certain restaurants, you'll see him, and
Ashley.
like, it's really cool to see him.
Stay with me.
Like,
stay right here. Stay right here. Tom Brady single.
Brandon,
Ashley, now keep it 100. Keep it 100.
I'm not
Could you see yourself?
I'm not tall and skinny enough to be a model.
You are. Tommy Hilfiger model. Tommy Hilfiger model. Are you?
I got a little bit too much dip on my chip for Tom Brady.
What's it? No, what's a dip in the chip?
Like Giselle's a little crazy, so maybe. But they're not together anymore, so there's that.
and sometimes, you know, some of the white guys, they be loving the little sisters. And
the little sisters, Brandon.
Yeah, you're like, you know, you got a little, you Italian and you black. Don't give me all that. Get right to it. No, we want to get to it. Will you date Tom Brady? Will you date Tom Brady?
A white guy.
Will you? I don't want to talk about it.
No.
Will you date Tom Brady?
No.
Yeah, you cap.
I've never.
You lying. She's like, no, BC, woo. BC, come here. Somebody come outside. Help me in this conversation.
I'm telling you right now, I've never dated a white guy.
I hear you. But will you date Tom Brady?
No, I wouldn't date Tom Brady. I don't feel like Tom Brady.
You lie. Look, she's blushing.
I don't feel like Tom Brady and I would even be like, there would.
Lie.
I don't even feel like Tom Brady and I have anything in common. Like, what? What are you, outside of football? Like, what are we talking about?
It gotta be turned up.
One of our producers.
You guys are crazy.
All right, I gotta come in. What's up, Ashley? You're a liar.
That I wouldn't date Tom Brady?
Yeah.
Do you think Tom Brady is my type?
What's so bad about Tom, first
Nothing.
of all?
Okay, can I say this? I would totally hang out with Tom Brady.
So what that mean?
No.
Yeah, that sounds like a date.
Like platonically, like he looks like he's so much fun, especially in his retirement. He looks like he's so much fun to like be around and party with and go to dinner with. But I wouldn't.
Dating.
No, like.
What are you talking about?
But I wouldn't, like, I don't want to, like, you know, I'm not like attracted
You don't want
to
to go
Tom
to
Brady.
the next
like,
level.
Yeah, like I
Man,
want to
you
be,
go to dinner
I want to
with
be
Tom.
homies with Tom Brady.
You go to dinner with Tom. Tom hit you on that, like, hey.
That's what I'm saying. She don't
It's
even know. What
over
if
for
Tom
Ashley.
is like super
No,
romantic?
I'm telling you right now, like I don't look at Tom Brady and I'm like, Like I just look at Tom Brady, I'm like, yo, he's probably like fun to party with. Like,
Is he
probably,
handsome?
He probably gets lit.
Is he handsome?
Like
Is
Wolf
he
of Wall
handsome?
Street lit.
Is he handsome?
Is Tom Brady handsome?
Crawling to the Lambo lit?
He's good looking. He's not like my cup of tea, but he's good looking.
You'll take Jimmy Garoppolo over Tom Brady?
Jimmy Garoppolo's
I got one, B.
Go ahead.
If Tom got a tan,
If he got a tan.
because I mean he would be about
He always
Jimmy
tan.
at that
He
point.
lives in Miami now.
All right, if he got like darker hair, I'm trying to make him into Jimmy.
And he's
Garoppolo.
on his yacht. Remember that video?
Okay,
Yeah.
so that's a good example. Like any again, I've only ever dated black guys, so like this is not really.
Okay.
I
So this
don't
would be
really
stepping
know.
out.
No. But all the white guys that I've ever found myself like attracted to have dark features, like dark hair, dark eyes, like a Jimmy Garoppolo or like a young Ben Affleck, like a dark hair.
So-
Like I've never really liked the all-American.
Don't be discriminating
I've
on
never
guys.
really
Basically,
liked
the
the
caucasity of the
all-American-
situation. Then
No, like the all-American boy next door looking look.
Yeah.
Never really did it. I like the more exotic looking. Like,
Everybody in the
You know what I'm
chat,
saying?
everybody in the chat, please. And I saw what you said earlier. I took no shot at the chat. Is Ashley Cap?
I'm not.
Is Ashley Cap or no?
Like for example, I've never looked at give me like a
Cu-
Justin
Cujo
Herbert.
said,
is
do
not
something
like
different,
my type.
Ash.
so status has
Cujo
nothing to
said,
do
do
with
something
it.
different.
It has
No,
to
like
be,
the look is for me, the look of the guys who I've always white guys who I've always found attractive are like the dark feature ones that look like they could be like Greek or like Italian or like Mediterranean, like that kind of a
Cujo
look.
Dunn
You know what I
said,
mean?
do something different, Ash. It's 2023.
I'm not saying I'm against it. I'm just saying he's not
Okay.
my
your
particular
type.
cup of tea.
Hey, yo, Ash, I know
looking.
TB12 hanging with Meek and those snipers
Oh,
laugh
no, I'm
aloud.
cool.
All right, tell him, Ash. Facts for Big Ash, Big Cap. Okay, Ash, you're half. Stop the
Okay,
cap.
so I
Ashley
get that
ain't
often.
capping.
Like, Ashley, you're half
Ashley's
white.
not
Like, da-da-da-da.
capping.
But again, I'm half
Yeah.
Italian. It's not like I'm half like Polish. Like I'm half Italian.
or from
so
like the Midwest,
and not
or
only
something
Italian,
like that,
but
yeah.
I'm
Hey,
Sicilian.
yo, hold on, really quickly.
Like-
I'm gonna tell y'all, everybody in this chat right now, and people listening to us on Sirius XM Faction Talk. If you're a brother and you dating a sister, don't take her to Italy. They love them some sisters over there.
Oh.
Woo! Don't take your
They'll take
lady.
girl. They'll take your girl.
What? And they be like, no, they.
Actually, I don't like the way you just looked at me.
Me too. Italian.
You looked at me like that was
Italian
fast.
men, Italian
And they-
men do love like exotic.
And they-
yeah.
And they'll hit on your lady right in front of you.
Mm-hmm.
All right, well I'm gonna
And
hit him
they're
in his
smooth-
face
and they're
right in front of
smooth
me.
with
Right in
Smooth,
front
boy.
of her.
Don't
They're
do
smooth
it.
with it.
You got another question for Ash?
No, but just to that point, because I get that often, like you're half white. How could you like da da da? But for me, again, it's because I'm half white, but I'm Sicilian. So Sicilian men are very like tan with dark features. Like they're very exotic looking.
I
so
hear
like
you, I
that's
hear you.
the men. Like on
So-
that side of my family, that's what the men look like.
So Trevor Lawrence would be like at the bottom of your list then.
Yeah,
'Cause
like
that's
the
like your
all-American-
standard American.
The all-American blue-eyed next. I can find
Yeah.
them attractive, but they're not like my like. Oh my
I ain't gonna blame you.
God,
I got a
like-
type. I feel you.
Like you know who I think is hot? The guy from Game of Thrones, Jason Momoa.
Never watched it. Sorry guys.
Jason Momoa is like hot. I think
Oh,
he's
the-
Who's that? The guy with the long hair?
from Game of Thrones. He was good. Like he's
I
hot.
never watched
like,
Game
He's
of Thrones.
Aquaman, right?
Aquaman.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
like
yeah.
he's hot. You know what I mean?
But-
like
Could you date The Rock?
no,
What?
no.
I mean,
Too
I'm
much
not here
muscles,
defending,
too much
but I'm
muscles.
A
just
little,
saying.
yeah, a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but hey, them pockets.
That would
deep.
look crazy. Imagine him hugging her. Like, so much muscle.
So, hey guys,
Yeah.
Ashley cleared the roster. This
Sorry.
is what she said publicly,
What?
so I can
Oh
discuss
my
it. You said that
God.
publicly. You said it. You said it on the show. We go. Thank you for backing me up. You know she capped. You know she'll date Tom Brady. I'm gonna text Tom a picture of you and say,
No,
Tom.
you will not, sir.
I'm gonna be like, Tom, yo,
will not do such
she
a
single,
thing.
you single, y'all both live in Miami. Y'all would actually be a cool couple. I can see you on Tom Brady's arm.
I don't think Tom Brady and I would have anything.
Yes,
in
y'all
common.
will. What are you talking about? Y'all both high performers.
High perform. What?
Y'all both high performers, meaning like, you know, you striving to be the best in your business. He did that, and he's doing that now in business. You know, y'all both work out. You know, he got the TB12 method. He still take care of himself. He watches what he eat. You watch what you eat. You do Pilates. I need you to start coming in here lifting some weights. But y'all both work out. Y'all both y'all frequent the same restaurants. So y'all like the same food.
So do you. Should you date Tom Brady?
Well, if I went the other way, I would date Tom Brady. If I went the other way, I would. Your type? Tom Brady is handsome to me.
Tom Brady, he's good looking.
No, he's not my type because I like women. You know what I'm saying? Nothing against guys that like guys, but I like women. But Tom Brady is a handsome guy. He is. I like it. I like it for you. 2024, you cleared out your roster.
Stop telling people I cleared out my roster.
You said it publicly.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did. You didn't say that.
Oh, yeah, I
yes,
did say it publicly.
You did say that.
Yeah.
You said, yeah, I cleared it out. I'm going to 2024.
Yeah, 2024,
You're free.
clean slate.
All the free agents out there.
Mm-hmm. My team was in rebuilding.
Yo.
You guys are funny.
I'm about to text a picture right now.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
Right okay, so look.
He look Italian.
Look.
He look Italian.
That's Photoshop. That's old Tom Brady. Brady doesn't even look like that anymore. That's like Giselle Tom Brady. So guys, yeah. Brandon, I can see you. You're on camera, bro. Like, I can literally see.
Tom, Ashley Nicole Moss.
Oh, my God.
She just turned 30.
No.
She just turned 30. She's single, lives down here in South Florida. I vouch for her. You know, she's a New Yorker, so she come with some spice.
Oh, my God.
But, you know, I vouch for her. I say y'all go on a date.
I am not taking.
Show him your face.
I am not taking any type of.
Look, there go the picture right behind her. Look at this picture of Ashley right here.
Oh my God.
There she go right there. Look at that.
I am not taking.
Should I send it to her? Should I hit send?
You should not. You should not. You should not. I'm not taking any relationship matchmaking
Don't say it.
advice from this man ever again. He was a one and done situation and he failed miserably. So
no. We ain't gonna go too much into details.
His matchmaking privileges have been revoked.
That's not going too much. We ain't gonna go into reveal too much. But come on, now you went off and did your own thing. You ain't completely listened to me, and then you found yourself in a situation.
Revoked. Chop, clipped. Yeah.
I just said this person's interested.
You shouldn't have relayed the message.
That's all I said. And then your response, your interview was like,
You shouldn't have relayed the message if you didn't do your research on the individual. Did you do your research? You did not.
No, I ain't gonna.
Okay, you didn't do your research.
Too much. I want to hit send so bad. Chat, should I hit send to this video that I just captured of Brandon, you are good. Should I hit send?
You should not hit send. Brandon, what are you getting into for Art Basel? It's Art Basel week down here in the 305, in case you guys are aware of what that is. And it's a very busy time of year down here. Traffic is insane, as if we need additional traffic in Miami. But you got any plans?
I don't. Well, Amari Stoudemire. So tomorrow after the show, I'll probably go to Amari Stoudemire's event. He's doing something, I think, maybe with UBS Bank. And, you know, Amari's big into the arts. He's a collector. So I may go and see what he has going on. I had 2 tickets to what they call, I don't know much about Art Basel, but it's one of those events like pillars.
You're gonna actually buy some art, or?
No, I have no room in my house anymore. I had like a lot of art in storage for about 7 years. Just got a bigger spot, and so I put all my stuff up, and I still got stuff in the garage and storage. I still got art in New York in the storage, in Brooklyn. Sitting in Brooklyn right now, some beautiful marble pieces.
Are you going to sell, or?
Hell no. Not right now. No. So now it's pretty cool because I'm teaching my kids about art. When they walk in, you know, they want to touch. I'm like, hey, let me teach you about this. It's an asset, and this is what it's worth today. This is what it could be worth tomorrow. Daddy purchased this for $5,000, and look, 10 years later, now it's worth this. And then, you know, so I'm teaching them that. And then also my niece and nephew's coming to the crib, right? Like for Thanksgiving, they're a little older, so the conversation shifted. So I can have that same conversation with them. But now I'm sitting back and I'm like, what does this piece do for you?
Interesting.
You know what I mean? Like, what do you see, right? And so we spent probably like an hour on Thanksgiving having conversation around art. So Art Basel's here. I'm not doing much. What are you doing?
I'm just gonna dabble and see. I think in my older years.
Tom probably be down there.
In my older years, I've kind of like geared more towards doing things if this is gonna come out terrible, but like if there's no check involved,
right?
I don't really care about
that. Ain't terrible.
Yeah,
why is that terrible?
Like when I was in my 20s, I wouldn't miss a party.
Right,
like I wouldn't miss the opening of an envelope. Like that was my thing.
But open up the envelope.
But now, like in my 30s, and since turning 30, like I'll go out to an event every now and then, but I'm not gonna like.
Let's go to Delilah's tonight.
I'm not gonna overexhaust myself trying to go. Things.
Let's go to Delilah's tonight.
I would do Delilah's. That's a big deal that's coming to Miami.
Yeah,
big
but
deal.
Ashley, don't feel bad that you only go out if there's a check involved.
No, I for the most part, like I'll dabble and do like little things. If like a friend is throwing an event or I know the company throwing the event, I'll show love. Yeah. But in terms of like going and doing so many different things just to be in the mix, like you know me, I'd rather be home like watching or Netflix with
or at the same restaurants Tom Brady's
or at a good restaurant. Listen, guys, that does it for the Hump Day show.
Hump Day.
I'm Ashley Nicole Moss. This is Brady Marshall, and we will be back tomorrow. Peace, guys. Bye. Hopefully, Befo will be joining.